Hello, my name is Sara Santana, and this is my Communications 111 Speech to Persuade. The topic that I've chosen to talk to you guys about today is immigration because I believe that no human is illegal. I chose this topic because it's something that I am affected by personally, and I've seen the impacts it can have on others, and I believe that if we came together as a community, it's something that we could really change. I don't believe that humans are born illegal. I believe that I am equal and that I shouldn't live in fear, and I shouldn't have to walk out of my front door and say goodbye to my parents not knowing if it's the last time I will see them. I believe that I shouldn't have to start praying when the clock hits 10 because my dad isn't home yet. And I believe that my mom shouldn't be like a table or a chair that can be ripped out of our house at any given moment because of our status. I believe that she's worth more than a table and she's worth more than a chair. I believe that she is equal, I am equal, we are all equal, and that we should learn to love one another because it's us against the issue, not us against each other. For some reason, the country that we live in determines the worth of others based on everything except for the person you are on the inside. Somehow, if you have the title saying you're legal, you automatically hold more worth than someone labeled as illegal. Growing up, I developed a hate for the term illegal alien, as if I am no longer human because of my status. All of a sudden, I become a disgusting creature in the eyes of those who feel superior. They call us aliens as if the term illegal has an appearance. I don't believe in being born illegal or born an alien. I am human. As I grow in age and in maturity, I've come to the realization that society gives us all an image that we're expected to conform and fit into. These expectations are all made up of different factors such as your ethnicity, appearance, income, social status, knowledge, and other things. We all conform and don't question our role because it's what everyone else is doing. As a Mexican in the United States, the role I'm given is uneducated, a criminal, hood, gang-affiliated, careless, reckless, and etc. Because of this role society has given me as a minority, it often leads to others creating opinions or ideas of me before truly getting to know me and the values that I hold. It is said that we are bringing drugs, we are rapists and criminals, but we're only in search of a better future. When I look at myself in the mirror, I see a bright young lady with a bright future ahead of her. And when I analyze my own personal values, I find that I'm a person of faith. I value my education and all the opportunities that this country has given me. Up until today, I've done all that is possible to surpass the expectations that society has of me. If we were all to remove the outer layer of our skin to reveal our anatomy, it would be so insanely similar, it would be almost impossible for any average person to tell individuals apart. No matter the color of your skin, no matter your status, no matter the language you speak, when it comes down to our tissue, blood, and bones, we are all the same. It is often argued that people should simply come here legally, but what they don't understand is that the process can take more than 30 years, thousands of dollars, and for someone desperate for a better life, that's simply not an option. And all that time and money spent just to go to the land that used to belong to the indigenous was built by slaves and kept by Latinos. Despite how corrupt our nation can be, it is still so much better than what we would have had back home. Although my mom spends her days on her knees cleaning the houses she'll never live in, and although my dad spends his life going up and down stairs painting walls of a home he'll never own, it is still so much better than what we would have had back home. When the media speaks on Mexicans and immigrants, they fail to acknowledge those who have graduated and completed 12 plus years of education without special tutoring, books at home, or parents who have the ability to help them with their schoolwork. That doesn't include all the young girls and boys who have to go to work to help maintain their families. Because of status, post-high school, many students aren't eligible for scholarships, but the media also fails to mention all the undocumented students who have successfully finished college all on their own. It is time we as a society stop stereotyping people and putting them in categories they're meant to fit in based off the color of their skin, where they live, where they're from, and their income, because none of that determines the worth of a person. People are ripped from all they knew from one second to another without warning. You never get to hug your wife or kids goodbye, you'll never see your bed again, your couch, or even simply eat at your favorite restaurant. These people are taken from the country they were only in search of a better future, and they're sent back to the impoverished state they so desperately needed to escape. It is time to throw away the cages we stuff families into, and it is time to support one another when we are in need. And may I remind you of the 1,000+ immigrant children who were lost while under the care of our government on 2 separate occasions. That is over 2,000 kids. You don't just lose 2,000 kids who can't fend for themselves and not do everything in your power to get them back to their parents safely. There are women, men, kids sick in these cages who are being denied any sort of health care. There are kids being put into courts without lawyers and expected to defend themselves. There are people in cages living in conditions that are inhumane. Over 5 children have passed away from these conditions inside of a cage. These kids had their last breath inside of a cage. If that doesn't break your heart, I'm not sure what will. And if that isn't enough for someone to realize how disgusting and horrendous the situation our country is in due to racism and privilege, I don't know how many more kids have to go missing, how many bodies have to wash up on the shore, and how many more must be put into cages for us to make a change. When people think of racism, they think of history. History is something that happened in the past. What if I told you that racism is still prevalent today? What if I told you that we're writing history right now? What if I told you that racism is part of our story? If you think about it, years from now, future generations will be reading about our history, and they'll realize that we put people into cages. They'll realize that we lost thousands of children. They'll realize that there were 7-year-olds, there were 5-year-olds, there were 8-year-olds put into courts and expected to fend for themselves. Is that the kind of history we want to teach? Is that what we want to be remembered for? It is time for change. I have a dream that my kids will walk freely. We don't come here with the intention of harming your country. We come here with the intention of bettering our lifestyle. I have a dream that one day I too will be considered equal, not judged by the color of my skin or my hair, and that one day I too will have basic rights. Thank you.